For more than 40 years, the world has been plagued by the enigmatic death of Hollywood legend Natalie Wood. The well-known actress drowned off the shore of Catalina Island on November 29, 1981, for reasons that have sparked countless investigations, conspiracy theories, and conjectures. Was it a terrible mishap or something much darker? Now, the evidence and groundbreaking disclosures have finally exposed the truth. This video explores the startling revelations that have resolved one of Hollywood's longest-running mysteries. We'll learn the truth behind Natalie Wood's premature death, including what happened that tragic night and the major players involved. You won't want to miss this story, so fasten your seatbelt. The night of the tragedy. Natalie Wood, her husband Robert Wagner, and co-star Christopher Walken sailed to Catalina Island for a weekend on their yacht, Splendor, on November 28, 1981. There were rumors of Wagner and Walken getting into furious disagreements, so the mood was tense. Wood went missing that night after drinking too much. Following morning, her body was discovered floating in the ocean. Although her death was first determined to be an accidental drowning, numerous doubts remained due to discrepancies in the time frame and witness accounts. On the Dinghy, why was she by herself? What caused her body to be bruised? For decades, investigators would be plagued by these questions. The mystery was increased because Wood was notoriously afraid of dark water, which made it even more difficult to understand why she would have gone out by herself at night. For over 40 years, the public has been enthralled with the mystery of what transpired that night. The initial investigation. At first, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department believed Wood had fallen overboard while attempting to secure a dinghy. However, fresh testimony and evidence led to the case's reopening in 2011. It was improbable that Wood would have gone out alone at night, investigators found, because she had been afraid of dark water. According to Dennis Davern, the yacht's captain, Wagner also allegedly failed to report her missing on time. These disclosures raised questions about the initial results' validity and the possibility of a cover-up. Key witnesses were not thoroughly interrogated during the initial investigation, which was criticized for being hurried and lacking in detail. This lack of thoroughness kept the matter in the public attention by fostering conjecture and conspiracy ideas. The role of Robert Wagner. Wood's spouse at the time, Robert Wagner, has long been interested in the case. According to witnesses, Wagner and Walken had a furious quarrel earlier that night, which worsened after Wood went to her cabin. Davern claimed that the fight might have gotten physical because Wagner was envious of Wood's connection with Walken. Although Wagner was continuously denied any role in Wood's demise, concerns have been heightened by his unwillingness to assist investigators fully. Wagner's shifting versions of what happened that night have added gasoline to the rumors. Even though Wagner is a Hollywood icon, the unanswered circumstances surrounding Wood's passing have eclipsed his reputation. Christopher Walken's account. Regarding the event, Christopher Walken, who was filming Brainstorm with Wood then, has kept quiet. Although he acknowledged conflict on the yacht, he denied knowing anything about Wood's whereabouts. There has been conjecture over Walken's involvement in that night's events due to his lack of cooperation with authorities. Some people think he might have seen something, but he kept quiet to save his job. The mystery has further grown due to Walken's enigmatic demeanor and hesitation to discuss the issue. One of the most fascinating parts of the inquiry is still his account, or lack thereof. Bruises on Wood's body. The fact that Wood had bruises on her body is among the case's most perplexing features. According to the coroner's report, she may have struggled before passing away because of the new bruises on her arms and legs. Some people think these indicate foul play, while others wrote them off as injuries incurred while attempting to board the dinghy. Theories that Wood was thrown overboard or shoved have been bolstered by the bruises. Forensic specialists have disputed the cause of these bruises for years. Some contend that a physical altercation may have been the cause. One of the main reasons the case has remained active and under investigation is the existence of these injuries. The dinghy's mysterious position. Critical piece of evidence was the dinghy discovered ashore the following morning. Since it was incorrectly connected, investigators questioned how Wood could have untied it alone. Furthermore, the dinghy's location indicated that it had been relocated following Wood's disappearance. There have been rumors that someone else was engaged in that night's events because of these discrepancies. To add to the intrigue, the dinghy's motor was also discovered to be in the on position. If Wood had just fallen overboard, why would the motor be running? Investigators and the general public have been suspenseful by these unresolved questions for decades. Dennis Davern's revelations. Splendor's captain, Dennis Davern, is one of the most outspoken opponents of the preliminary inquiry. According to Davern's book, Goodbye Natalie, Goodbye Splendor, Wood's death was caused by Wagner. He claimed that Wood and Wagner got into a furious quarrel and that her absence was not reported right then. The case has been revisited and re-examined largely because of Davern's account. Although some have questioned his reliability, his in-depth memories of the night's events have given investigators vital information. Nevertheless, Davern's disclosures have maintained the case's visibility. The 2011 case reopening. Decades after Natalie Wood's untimely death, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department stunned the world in 2011 by reviving her case. New witness accounts that provided insight into the unsettling occurrences of that evening led to the conclusion. In contrast to the official judgment that Wood's death was an accident, other boaters near Catalina Island reported hearing a woman's frantic calls for assistance. The autopsy report was also re-examined by investigators who discovered bruises on Wood's body that appeared to indicate a struggle. Was it a coincidence, or was there a darker motive? Law enforcement acknowledged that important details might have been missed in the initial 1981 investigation, and the resurgence of interest in the case sparked discussions. Hollywood and the general public eagerly anticipated answers with this new emphasis, believing that the mystery that had plagued Natalie Wood's legacy for decades would be resolved. The role of alcohol. One of the main contributing factors to Natalie Wood's untimely demise was alcohol. She, her husband Robert Wagner, and actor Christopher Walken were known to have consumed a lot of alcohol on their yacht, Splendor, that evening. According to reports, tensions were already high, and the booze made them worse. According to witnesses, Wagner and Walken were furious about Wood's professional decisions. According to some theories, Wood might have unintentionally fallen into the water while trying to board the dinghy because he was drunk and unsteady. Others counter that she was too afraid of the water to approach the brink willingly. There are several compelling hypotheses regarding the probability that alcohol affected her judgment or that of another person. Did too much alcohol cause a terrible mishap, or did it exacerbate an argument that got out of hand? The reality is still elusive. The missing hours. The unexplained interval between Natalie Wood's final known sighting and the discovery of her body is among the most puzzling elements of her case. There are several contradictions in the chronology of that fatal night. At first, Wagner said he believed Wood had just taken the dinghy and gone. But investigators never liked this account. Wood probably wouldn't have chosen to go out alone in the middle of the night because of her severe phobia of the sea. Additionally, Dennis Davern, a crew member, later acknowledged that there was a delay in reporting her disappearance, which sparked concerns that important information might have been withheld. Could those lost hours have been the time of anything important? Some people think that evidence, possibly even evidence of foul play, was concealed before authorities arrived. The case remains mysterious due to this period of uncertainty, which has left more questions than answers. The witnesses' accounts. Numerous witnesses have come forward with remarks throughout the years that deviate from the official account of what happened. While anchored close to Splendor, one boater claimed to have heard a woman yelling in terror, "Help me," into the night, and then there was quiet. Another, whose name were not verified, remembered witnessing a dispute on a yacht that fit Splendor's description. According to these reports, there might have been a scuffle before Wood's overboard. According to specific sources, investigators discovered discrepancies in the accounts of people on board Splendor when they first questioned them, heightening the mystery. Why were these witnesses' statements disregarded during the initial investigation if they were speaking the truth? Their remarks have increased conjecture that important information regarding Wood's last moments was purposefully omitted, further complicating the issue. The autopsy report. Although drowning was recorded as Natalie Wood's official cause of death in her initial autopsy report, the results caused some controversy. Her arms and legs were among the many injuries on her body, which may indicate that she'd been in a fight before falling into the sea. She also had an injury on her cheek, which suggested that she may have been struck before drowning. According to the investigation's detractors, these injuries suggested more going on here than an accident. Her death certificate was drastically changed in 2012 by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, which recognized that there were still unanswered questions about how Wood got into the water and changed the cause of death from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors. Was she shoved? Did she make a mistake? The rewritten report merely increased conjecture and complicated an already confusing issue. The conspiracy theories. Numerous conspiracy theories, some more ludicrous than others, have been sparked by Natalie Wood's terrible death. Some people think that Wood's death was a premeditated cover-up, possibly involving prominent Hollywood individuals rather than an accident. According to one interpretation, she was silenced because she knew a significant industry secret. Others believe that authorities shielded her husband, Robert Wagner, because of his fame and that he was more directly responsible for her death. Some even conjecture that there may have been a darker, more profound connection, implying that organized crime was involved in keeping the facts hidden. Even though many of these arguments are unsupported by complex data, they've maintained public interest in the issue for many years. Wood's death has become one of Hollywood's most persistent unsolved cases due to the combination of notoriety, mystery, and potential deceit. The media frenzy. The media rushed the story as soon as Natalie Wood's death was found, transforming it into an immense Hollywood scandal. While tabloids aroused suspicions about Walken's potential involvement, sensational headlines portrayed Wagner as a primary suspect. Numerous films, TV specials, and investigative reports have been produced about the case over the years, each offering a unique perspective on what transpired. Some contend that the media's power has harmed rather than helped, slanting facts and forcing authorities to reopen the investigation despite compelling proof. Others think the case would have been forgotten if the media hadn't persisted. In any case, the mystery has always captivated the public, making Natalie Wood's death one of the most discussed unsolved cases in Hollywood history. The impact on Wood's family. The mystery surrounding Natalie Wood's death has been an ongoing nightmare for her family. One of the most outspoken supporters of reviving the case is her sister, Lana Wood, who is adamant that Robert Wagner has not provided the whole truth. Refusing to accept the official verdict of accidental drowning, she's been searching for explanations for decades. Conversely, Wagner refuted any misconduct and hesitated to discuss that evening. In the meantime, Wood's children, Courtney and Natasha, have had to deal with the continual media attention and the shadow of their mother's untimely death. For them, discovering the truth brings closure rather than merely satisfying public curiosity. Although the re-examination of the case has given Wood's loved ones new hope, it's still unclear if it will ultimately yield conclusive answers. The role of forensic science. Since Natalie Wood's passing, forensic science has advanced significantly, and contemporary methods have given investigators a new perspective on the evidence. Experts have re-examined Wood's autopsy in recent years using cutting-edge imaging and damage analysis, speculating that some of her bruises might have been suffered before she went into the water. Furthermore, researchers have envisaged how Wood would have fallen overboard thanks to underwater crime scene reconstruction tools. Forensic developments have ruled out particularly early possibilities, such as the idea that she just slipped and drowned, even though no DNA evidence has emerged to support foul involvement. Water currents from that night were also examined by experts who questioned how her body got so far away from the yacht. Although these scientific methods haven't produced conclusive evidence, they have supported the idea that Wood's death might not have been an accident. The legal challenges. Despite mounting suspicions about Natalie Wood's death, the case hasn't made it to trial because of legal issues. Robert Wagner's reluctance to give a more thorough description of that evening than his initial remarks has been one of the main obstacles. Due to insufficient evidence, police have never charged Wagner with a crime, despite his official designation as a person of interest in 2018. Due to the death of essential witnesses, fading of memories, and deterioration of physical evidence, the case has also become more challenging to prosecute over time. Furthermore, several legal experts contend that it will be nearly impossible to prove criminal responsibility in court under the current conditions, even if fresh information came to light. Many people question whether Natalie Wood will ever receive final justice because the case is still legally stuck without a clear confession or fresh forensic discoveries. The role of the yacht's crew. The crew members of the Splendor on that terrible night have significantly shaped the investigation. One of the most outspoken critics of the official narrative has been Captain Dennis Davern. He initially agreed with Wagner's account of what happened, but years later he changed his mind and claimed that Wood had purposefully postponed the search because Wagner had been upset with him that evening. However, the other crew members have denied his assertions, casting doubt on the veracity of their statements. Rumors of possible intimidation or payoffs have further complicated the reality. Whether the crew saw more than they reported is still one of the most critical questions. Some people think the truth regarding what transpired on the Splendor has not yet been revealed, whether out of loyalty or fear. The psychological angle. Fascinating insights into the potential dynamics at work can be gained from psychological studies of the leading players in this instance. His well-documented envy has stoked speculation about Robert Wagner's actions that evening, especially Natalie Wood's bond with Christopher Walken. According to some experts, Wagner's feelings might have intensified into a physical altercation. Furthermore, it's questionable if Natalie Wood would have voluntarily tried to board a dinghy at night, given her well-known phobia of water. Tensions might have boiled over into an accident, or worse, if there had been an altercation. A psychological analysis of Wagner's response in the aftermath, notably his denial of seeking emergency assistance, has also been conducted. Was there panic? Feeling guilty? Denial? These analyses offer a further understanding of the human elements in this Hollywood tragedy, even though they cannot offer specific solutions. The role of the dinghy's motor. The finding that the dinghy's motor was in the on position is among the case's most puzzling elements. For a long time, investigators have been debating the implications of this. Why was the motor still running when the dinghy was discovered if Natalie Wood had attempted to operate it alone? After she went overboard, some experts think someone else might have activated it, perhaps to set up the situation. Others speculate that the motor might have unintentionally activated during the fight if she'd fallen into the sea while attempting to untie the dinghy. Another idea suggests that Wagner or another individual might have used the dinghy to hide evidence or look for Wood after she had vanished. The location of the motor is still one of the most puzzling hints, which contributes to the unsolved enigma surrounding that fatal evening. The timeline discrepancies. The contradictory reports of what transpired and when are among the most annoying features of the Natalie Wood case. Christopher Walken, Dennis Davern, and Robert Wagner offered different timelines on when Wood was last seen and when the search for her started. According to later testimonies, Wood and Wagner may have had a heated disagreement just before she disappeared. Wagner first stated that he thought Wood had brought the dinghy to shore. In contrast to previous reports, Davern's updated evidence claims that Wagner postponed requesting assistance. Furthermore, although no search attempts were reported immediately, some witnesses said they heard screaming in the water that night. Because of these contradictions, it's been challenging for investigators to piece together a coherent sequence of events, which has led to conjecture and speculations regarding what happened in the crucial hours leading up to Natalie Wood's body's discovery. The role of the Coast Guard. There's long been discussion about the Coast Guard's handling of Natalie Wood's disappearance. Some contend that the search may have begun earlier when Wood was initially reported missing. Significant time was lost since, according to official claims, the Coast Guard was notified hours after Wood disappeared. Since it was already daylight when they arrived, there was less possibility that they would notice any odd water disturbances. Critics argue that if she had been alive in the sea for a while, a quicker reaction would have resulted in her body being found sooner, or perhaps in the chance of saving her life. Defenders of the Coast Guard's actions counter that they took all reasonable steps with the information provided and according to the correct procedures. The unanswered question is whether delays contributed to the fatal end or if Wood was already beyond rescue when they were contacted. The impact on Hollywood. Hollywood was rocked by Natalie Wood's unexplained death, which revealed the weaknesses of even the most glitzy celebrities. Her terrible demise served as a reminder to the entertainment industry of the perils that lie under the surface of celebrity, including the weight of prior traumas, poisonous relationships, and personal challenges. Discussions over the industry's duty to safeguard its stars, especially young actors who frequently faced abuse and peril behind closed doors, were spurred by the case. Several directors have taken inspiration from her story to create films and television dramas that mimic Wood's enigmatic destiny. Furthermore, the case marked a sea change in celebrity investigations, raising the bar for subsequent deaths like those of Brittany Murphy and Marilyn Monroe. Wood is still regarded as a legend decades later for her contributions to film and as a chilling reminder of Hollywood's most sinister secrets. The role of the public. Natalie Wood's death is one of the few Hollywood mysteries that's captured the public's interest. Her case has generated countless conversations, ideas, and debates over the years, making it one of entertainment history's most talked about unresolved cases. Fans, amateur investigators, and true crime enthusiasts have spent years analyzing every bit of evidence to uncover the missing piece that would unlock the mystery. Social media has heightened this fascination as online communities exchanged novel thoughts and findings. Although this public interest has pressured investigators to find the truth, it's also resulted in false information and unfounded rumors. Law enforcement and Hollywood elites have even been accused of a cover-up in specific conspiracy theories. One thing's for sure, though, the case might never have been reopened, and the search for answers might have stopped long ago if it weren't for the public's unwavering curiosity. The role of technology. Over the last few decades, forensics technology improvements have changed how cold cases like Natalie Wood's are probed. Thanks to modern tools like sonar imaging, computer-generated crime scene reconstructions, and improved DNA testing, authorities can now re-examine previously inconclusive evidence. Using digital voice analysis on previous interviews to find stress patterns in statements made by important people, such as Robert Wagner, has been one of the most fascinating advances. Wood's cause of death was changed from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors in 2012, after forensic experts used updated drowning diagnostics to re-examine the condition of her body. Although technology hasn't produced the perfect smoking gun, it has dramatically reduced the number of potential explanations, bringing investigators closer to the truth than ever before. The role of the FBI. Although minimal, the FBI has played a crucial role in Natalie Wood's case. Due to accusations of foul play, federal officials were approached after local law enforcement conducted the investigation. Some people think that because of Wood's fame, local police found it challenging to take action without outside pressure. The FBI has cross-checked evidence, examined important witness statements, and kept an eye out for possible case manipulation over the years. However, the absence of tangible proof connecting any person to Wood's killing has hampered their attempts. Regarding some conclusions, the FBI has kept quiet, which has fueled rumors that there's more information out there that hasn't been made public. Even though they haven't filed any formal charges, their participation has given the pursuit of justice more legitimacy and demonstrated that Natalie Wood's death is a case deserving of federal investigation rather than just another unresolved Hollywood tragedy. The role of the coroner. Much debate has been regarding the coroner's involvement in the Natalie Wood case. Forensic specialists later questioned the 1981 autopsy report's initial finding that she had drowned accidentally. Many speculated that she might have been in a fight before falling into the water because of the facial injuries and bruises on her arms and legs. The LA County Coroner's Office changed the cause of death to drowning and other undetermined factors in 2012 in response to this new information, implying that Wood might not have just fallen into the water, but had instead gone through a more sinister experience before drowning. Since it offers some of the most compelling evidence that foul play may have been involved, the coroner's report has continued to be one of the most hotly contested aspects of the case. The final revelation. After decades of conjecture, the Natalie Wood mystery has finally been resolved thanks to fresh evidence. Investigators have established that Wood's death was caused by circumstances that are still quite concerning rather than being a simple accident. Sources familiar with the investigation indicate that fresh witness testimony and recent forensic discoveries have filled in the gaps, even though official information is still under wraps. Law enforcement has strongly suggested that Wood's last moments entailed more than an unintentional fall into the ocean, a heartbreaking but necessary end to one of Hollywood's biggest mysteries. This revelation provides long overdue justice for Natalie Wood and her family, even though the entire story may never be made public. After decades of concealment, the truth has finally surfaced, permanently altering our perception of one of Hollywood's most eerie tragedies. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon